don't.
Are you a DJ?
Is she a Twitch streamer?
Okay, I'm recording this, FYI.
Oh.
Okay, lesson 1. So we're going to start rational numbers by just comparing and ordering rational numbers. So what is a rational number? It's a number that can be expressed in a fraction. Any number that can be expressed in a fraction. Okay, so it includes whole numbers. Whole numbers are rational. Do you guys know what whole numbers are?
Numbers without decimals.
Well, specifically, what does it start at? What does a whole number start at?
0.
0, 1, 2, 3. Those are whole numbers. Can you express, for instance, 3? Can you express it as a fraction?
Yeah.
3 over 100.
Not quite.
3 over 0.
Not quite.
3 over 1.
3 over 1. Yeah. 3 over 1 would be the number 3. Okay, it also includes integers. So what have I added on top of this? What does an integer also include?
Decimals.
Not decimals.
Negatives.
Negatives. Okay, so we can also include integers. It includes decimals that stop or repeat. Decimals that stop or repeat. So, for instance, 0.25 is a rational number because if it stops, I can always put it as a fraction. Because what would this be? 25 over 100. Yep. So that's a fraction, right? Or decimals that repeat. So when you see something like this on your calculator, 0.333333333, that is a rational. Does anybody know what that is as a fraction? 1/3. Did you know that anything with ninths is repeating? So 1/9, 0.11111, 2/9, right? 3/9. So that's 1/3, right? 3/9. So I always like ponder this because 9/9, is it 1 or 0.999999999? Okay, so repeating decimals. It excludes what is not rational. So if we include all those things, what's not included then? Decimals that go on and on. Example, pi. Okay, if you type pi in, 3.14, dun, 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 like, and actually my calculator just goes to here, but pi, it keeps going and going and going.
2, 6, 5.
Okay, what about something like this value, the square root of 3? Square root of 3. You think that's going to come out nicely?
No.
No, 1.732, oh, okay, doesn't repeat. and it would just go on forever. So that is not rational. And what about something like this? 12 divided by 0. What's that? It's not divisible. So that number is undefined. It's not a math number that we can put a definition on. It's undefined value. You're going to learn in the higher grades that we put an infinite on it because it's not definable. If you take my grade 12 advanced math class, you're going to learn about other numbers that are called imaginary numbers, but we won't get into that. Okay. Compare and order rational numbers. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do a number line. Okay, negative 1.2. Where would I put that on the number line? So it's below negative 1, so it has to be on the left side of it. Four-fifths. So 4/5 is between 0 and 1. Would you say it should be closer to 0 or 1? It's closer to 1. Seven-eighths. It's between 0 and 1. Which side of 4/5 would I be on? Would I be closer to 1 than it or not? What do you think? I think we're going to be closer to 1 yet. I didn't leave myself much room. How did I know that? What could we say that we knew that? Without a calculator.
5 times 2 is 10. And what are you doing? No. If you times 10 by 10, it's 100. If you 4 times 2, it's 8, and then times that by 10 is 80. So it's 80%.
Yep, 80%.
You just
No, that's right. 4/5 is 80% of the way there. Okay, here's kind of what I was thinking. So both of them, would you agree with me that they're 1 short of their parts?
Yes.
4/5, so I'm 1 short of a 5th. And here I'm 7/8, so I'm 1 short of an 1/8. So what's smaller, a 5th or an 1/8? An 1/8. So it's a smaller chunk, so that means I'm closer to that. Okay, what else we got here? Negative 0.55555. So I'm on this side of 0, I'm on the negative side. And I know 0.5 exactly is a halfway. So which side of halfway should I be on? Left or the right? A little bit to the left of it. Do you know this symbol with the line on top? Repeat it. Yeah, that symbol means 0.55555. I actually just told you what fraction that was. What fraction was that? Do you remember?
5/9.
5/9. 5/9. So just a little past the halfway marker. And negative 7/8. It's, yep, just on the other side of it yet. It's very close to being a full negative. Okay, I'm going to do another number line. I'm not going to go so big here. I'm just going to go to -2. Give myself some more space here. Okay, first one is -0.3 repeated. So we actually know what that decimal is, or that fraction is.
3/9.
3/9, or what else could we consider it? 1/3, but negative. So on the negative side of 0, can you go 1/3 of the way? 1/3 of the way. I only went 1/3 of that space. Okay, -0.6. So I know where the halfway marker is, and I need to be more than the halfway marker. So I'm halfway to -1 and more. Okay, 3/4. So now I'm going to go to the right-hand side. So in between 0 and 1, can you think about 3/4 of that distance?
It's like half with another quarter on it.
Yep. Take the halfway, then take half of the halfway. Is that what you're thinking? And 3/8. So on this one, my brain goes to, hey, 4/8 is half. So I'm not half. I'm not halfway to 8. So less than half. So can you visualize the half? So I'm less, I have to be under the halfway. And the last one is -3/2. Can you tell me what this is as a mixed? -1 and 1/2. Because you have 2 of the whole to make a whole, and then 1 extra one.
So then it goes right in between 1 and 2, -1 and -2.
Right smack dab in the middle. Okay, so I think on your homework you're going to have to pay attention to the words right in an order. What if I say least to greatest? You would go from here to here. But if the directions say from greatest to least, what are you going to do? Here to there. Okay, so pay attention to that. Okay, can you label this number line? -1 and 0. Each tick mark on here is a tenth, or 0.1. So for instance, this would be like -0.2, -0.4, -0.1. Okay, do you see what each tick is worth? Okay, -3/4. Does anybody know that one as a decimal? 75. Think about money. If you have 3/4, how much money do you have? 75 cents. So here's -0.6 and -0.7. So then we are right there. And -2/3 Does anybody know what that would convert to as a decimal? You can't use your calculator. Can you change a 3 to a 9?
Yeah.
How? Times by 3. So times the top by 3. 6. And look at the 9s. What did I say about 9s? Always a repeating. So where would you want to put that? A little bit closer to negative 0.7 than it is to 0.6. So which one of them is greater?
Negative 2/3.
Negative 2/3. Is it confusing with negative? Because negative 1 is actually greater than negative 10. Even though you see 10 is, in a positive, 10 would be bigger than 1, but on the negative side, think about money. Would you rather be in the whole $10 or only in the whole $1? $1. Think about temperature. Which is greater, if it's -1 outside or -10? Okay? Okay, which one is smaller? Oh, you have to do these on your own. Show that you know. Show me this on your own. Okay, here are your answers.
My answer.
So, did you do them properly? So what I did for my reasoning, I did, hey, this is out of 10, so it is actually just a decimal with 0.7, negative 0.7.
Yeah.
So I put it there. And I actually converted this to be a 10th fraction. So I times by 2. And then because I got it out of 10, I can always think about decimals again. So now I'm at negative 0.6 exactly. So which one was smaller? Whatever's on the left-hand side is smaller. Okay, and which one is greater? Well, any kind of positive number would be greater than a negative value. So you can see this one, I would have placed just beside 0. All right, what else we got? Identify a fraction between these values. Okay, so first of all, can anybody give me a decimal that lands between somewhere? Negative 0.65. Okay, but that doesn't answer my question because I said give me a fraction. So we will take that, but we need to change it to a fraction. 65 over 100. Yep. 2 decimal places is 100, right? 1 decimal place is a 10th. Does anybody know a very, very common fraction between that? 2 over 3 is another answer. Negative 2 over 3, because remember what that decimal was? Can you change it to a 9? Okay, so those are some good answers. So that's a fraction, that's a fraction. Okay, show you know. So give me these 2 practice questions. Okay, we're going to see what you came up with. Okay, so for me, if I was to pick something between that, I probably would have first thought about decimal language like that. Anybody else pick that number as a decimal? Okay, but I need you to get me a fraction answer, so over 100 would work. So anybody else think of something different? No, most people thought of that one. Okay, if I'm on a number line, which number would be further to my left? Negative 2.5 or negative 2.4? Negative 2.5. Okay, so this is more on my left. Can anybody think of something as a decimal that would go between that? What do you think of, Dom? Negative 2.45. Or you could do something like negative 2.47 or anything that has a 4 something. Okay, so if we picked that, it'd be negative 2 and a fraction of 45 over 100. Can anybody turn that into an improper fraction? 245 over 100, and remember it's negative. So what do? I times these and add that onto the top. Okay?
When their brains are just grinding on something, I just have one.
Working.
Okay, so while you're working, we need to talk about some wording. Okay, you might see the word increasing. Or the word ascending. Have you ever heard of that word? Ascending means to be going up. So that means the same thing. Decreasing. Or you might see the word. What's the opposite of ascending? Descending. So you need to know what those words mean. So you start, when you increase, you start low to high, right? Go low to high. And decreasing would mean I need you to write me numbers from high to low.
Well, I'm gonna mess up on that.
Okay, also, what do I see in your homework booklets?
Wait, this is our homework booklet?
Your homework booklet would be called the workbook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also see that you might need some inequality signs. Okay, so do you know what that means?
Yeah.
Less. That one means less.
Hungry alligator eats one that's greater.
If it looks like an L on your page, it's less.
I thought
A little bit of a tilted L.
it was meaning to greater.
No, this one means greater. So I would be like 2 is less than 5.
Parkside got it. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, 2 is less than 5. That's how I read that sentence
Oh.
in math.
Okay, yeah, I thought like you made the
The alligator mouth.
I thought the alligator pointing at the larger mouth. Thought, like, and then
Alligator mouth eats the bigger one. How about like that?
Yeah.
But also I always think of if it's L, it's a less than symbol. Okay? So you have to know your symbols. Do you know, what does this mean if I add something like that to it?
I have no idea.
Have you ever learned that one?
Roman numeral.
No? You've never seen this one? Less than or equal to.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So just adding that line under it means you could also be equal to it. So if I said a number had to be greater than or equal to 10, this is what this says. A number has to be greater or equal to 10. Give me some examples. What's the first example that would work? 10, because I'm allowed to be equal to 10. 11, 12, 13, okay? So you can be on the number there. If I didn't include it, you wouldn't include 10, okay? All right, I think I'm gonna let you go. Inequality signs should be good now.